a lot of interviews and things like that. And it looks like he just nailed one a couple of minutes ago. So
Cool. Congratulations.
I know. All right. I am good to go. I got a clock. I got everything in
I'm
play.
ready.
I'll count us down in I'll count us down in three, two, one. Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's real estate authority, that is Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, it is always great to be talking with you. Now, this weekend, we're airing Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday, and you can listen to it. I didn't like that. Three, two, one. We air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or search for Barb. You'll find her on most of the popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio. So, Barb, what are we talking about this weekend?
Well, Richard, I just came back from a conference where we're sharpening our sales skills, and I came back with lots of good information. So I'm excited to share some of the things that I'm bringing back that will help my customers. The first one we're going to talk about is Zillow. So whether you like Zillow or not, they're a major player in the real estate space. Now, they are a tech company. They are not the multiple listing service. They are not a realtor association. They are just a tech company that makes money in the real estate space, but they dominate the real estate space. So I'm going to tell you why you should care, whether or not you're on Zillow, and what it means to you as a homeowner or a home buyer. And then the next topic, I get these questions a lot from my home sellers, which is should you fix up your home for sale when you put your house on the market? And it really depends. Some people are not really in a position to make their house look pretty, and that's okay. We have a solution for you too. It's all about pricing and finding somebody to help you position the home so you get the most money no matter what your strategy is. And then the third topic, near and dear to my heart, what should a realtor do to sell my house in Colorado? So the thing that kind of drives me crazy about this industry, I came from a military background. I was in the Navy. I was the air traffic controller. For one glorious and fun year, I got to be a regional airline pilot. And both of those jobs involve procedures, checklist, how to, what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. But when I got into real estate, it was just the opposite. There is no job description for a realtor. So people assume it's a generic commodity, and that can't be further from the truth. Not all agents are the same. So we're going to talk about kind of what they do and what I think they should do. And the very last topic is to provide certainty for home sellers. So how you could tell if your house is going to sell for sure. We'll talk about our guaranteed cash offer programs, and there are quite a few. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
Now, Barb, no one seems to know for sure where interest rates are going to be going. Some people are seeing their home values drop on sites like Zillow's estimate. Are home sellers' values really what Zillow says they are?
Well, you have to put it in perspective. So back in 2021, Zillow was kind of just coming on the scene as being a major player in the real estate space. And at that time, because the interest rates were down at 2.5%, 3%, almost everybody could afford a home if they had an okay credit score. So we were seeing the prices just explode very quickly. And then Zillow decided to get in the game and start making offers and actually buying homes. The problem was they relied on their Zillow Zestimate, which they call a special algorithm that gives an opinion of value. Sometimes it's right, Sometimes it's too low. Sometimes it's too high. Half the time it's missing half the square footage. Half the time it does not have accurate information. So you can't rely on it. But the problem is that they told us at the conference last week that they get 64% of the eyes of buyers' eyes on their website nationwide. That's massive. Everybody else underneath them, which they never mentioned homes.com because those two are going at it. I think homes.com probably grabbed some employees from Zillow and they're trying to swipe and deploy what they're doing. But all the other players are way smaller percentage wise. So as a result, most of the buyers are looking at Zillow. Now, part of Zillow, especially when a home goes on the market, you have to scroll down to see it, but it's still going to give their opinion of value. Now, is that what a buyer's going to pay? Not likely, probably not. However, it could hurt you or it could help you. Like sometimes we just put a house on the market last week where their opinion of value was higher than our asking price. So that actually helped quite a bit. We ended up getting a bidding war on that home. So what does Zillow do? Who are they? What do they do? Basically, they're a tech company that created a really good website that outperforms all of the local multiple listing services in the country combined. So the way this whole thing came about, and I was in the business back in the mid 90s, I've been doing it that long, where internet and websites were just kind of a new thing back then. I remember somebody saying, "Oh, you have a website. That's cool." Of course, I didn't know what to do with it, but so at the time, most of the data, so a multiple listing service basically is some form of a database of homes for sale. So back then, they would publish it in a white phone book. Most of the listings in there did not have a picture. They were just the data, just the facts: 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, maybe a description, and whoever the contact was, the listing agent, so you could set up a showing. So at that time, most of the buyers had to physically go look at homes to find their home. And on top of that, the real estate agents controlled the inventory. In other words, you'd sit down with an agent, go, "Okay, I want to go look at homes for sale." They decided on which homes you would want to see, not the internet. It's just the opposite now. So Zillow, when they came on scene, they kind of looked around and went, "Oh my God, this is a pathetically antiquated system." And it still is to this day. So all the local little, I call them fiefdoms, 1,500 different multiple listing services, which are basically realtor association clubs, and they hire a tech company to create their website about the listings for sale in that local area. The problem is they're all different software, and of course, the software does not talk to each other. So Realtor.com was the first website to integrate all those $1,500 1,500 multiple listing services and put them online as one website. But Realtor.com's website isn't that great, in my opinion. Some people use it, but it's not my favorite one to search for homes. And so Zillow came on the scene and they looked at this and said, "Wow, we could create a better mousetrap." And they did. So Zillow and Realtor.com got into a lawsuit. Zillow lost. So Zillow had to go and actually reach out to all the local MLSs and all the tax assessors and get as much housing data as they could. They put it online. And basically what they do is they're trying to motivate buyers to raise their hands to say, "I want to see that house." Then they sell that lead, that buyer lead, to real estate agents that pay them for lead opportunities in that zip code. So that's why if you click on a listing in Zillow and say, "I want to see that home," you are not going to get the listing agent. You're going to get some random agent that doesn't know the house. And guess what? The first thing is they're going to do, they're not going to verify that you qualified to buy a house. They're not even going to verify that you're looking for a house like that. They're just going to go, "Okay, when would you like to see it? I'll meet you there." So imagine if you're a seller, right? And you put your house on the market and you're thinking, "Oh, I've got a showing set. This is exciting. I have a buyer that's actually interested in my home, can buy the home, and wants a home like mine." They have no idea. And that's why I joke around and call them overpaid door openers, because they only find out after they've used your house as a marketing opportunity to get face to face with a buyer. Then they get in the door, they listen to the buyer's feedback, and if they don't like that house, they'll try to sell them another house. That's really how it works. And Zillow has made billions of dollars doing that. Now, when they got in the game to try to buy homes and offer homes back in 2021, the problem was they were relying on their Zestimate, their algorithm, to make offers. And I remember going and meeting with sellers, and they would say, well, Zillow offered me this much and their fee is only this much. And I looked at them and said, you should take it, because I knew whatever they were getting offered that year in 2021 was more than the market could command. And they went on to lose $1 billion. Now, I don't know about you, but most realtor associations don't have $1 billion to lose. They quit doing that very quickly because they realized they can't stay in business if they're losing $1 billion a year. So that's essentially how it works. Are the values accurate? Probably not. They missed it by $1 billion. And at the end of the day, most people don't trust it. They'll ask me, well, my house on Zillow says it's worth X, but I'm not really sure about that. But what's important is that they have the eyes of 220 million monthly visitors. So it's really, really important that you're on Zillow and you're on the right way. So if you are thinking of making a move, we can help you be on Zillow the right way so that you get the buyer traffic that you need to sell your home for the most amount of money. Just give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And you can always reach Barb and her team at 719-301-3900. We're talking about Zillow home values and their accuracy or lack thereof. So, Barb, why is it important for home sellers to even be on Zillow?
Well, it's just because they have so many shoppers on Zillow. You're more likely to catch the buyers if you're on Zillow versus not on Zillow. And just so you know, the real estate industry, because there's no standardization, there's no training, 90% of the agents out there quit the business every 5 years. I just got some new stats that 71% of the agents in 2024 sold 0 homes. So that's like more than 2/3 of the agents out there haven't had any sales. So when a seller calls to find out what their home is worth and they're wondering, is Zillow right or is what the realtor's saying is right? They don't really know. Most of them don't ask the agent, well, how many homes have you sold? And think about it, Richard. Would you take pricing advice from somebody that says they sell homes that hasn't sold any homes?
That's kind of an easy answer, and that would be no,
Yeah.
no, and no.
No. So basically it's very, very important to be on those websites so that, because nowadays, instead of us using the MLS book or using information from the local MLSs, people are going on those tech company websites and there's thousands of homes on there. It's easy to get lost in the sea of data, but I can tell you the way we market on Zillow, our company gets 140% more page views, 127% more saves, and 157% more shares. And one of the things that they do is they'll email out your listing. They can typically find over 1,000 buyers that are a high match for your home. And they're emailing it right out to them saying, hey, look at this one. And they have a massive open rate. So you want to not just be on there, but the marketing has to be right for you to be on there right. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing, should you fix up your home for sale here in Colorado? I like that.
Did I explain that topic well enough?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I always keep an eye kind of on that. And I think you always do a really good job of, you know, some things are more complicated than others, but the average person out there, I don't think until they're getting ready to buy or sell, I mean, they've heard of Zillow, they know it's out there, but I don't think they pay much attention to it. And therefore, I don't think they have a great idea of exactly what it is, how it works, and how it plays into, what you do. Let's put it that way. So yes, the answer was yes.
Thank you.
That's what I think. And you did it in a timely fashion.
I tried. I could have gone on and on.
Yeah, well, Taylor Swift is marrying Travis Kelce, so that's what David
And she's
said.
pregnant, right?
No,
I thought she was. I thought I saw a
no,
picture
no.
with a
Oh,
big
you know what? I saw that same picture. It's from
Was
a
that fake?
concert. Yeah, she
Yeah.
looks like she might have, I don't know. I was going to say, it looks like she might have gained a little bit of weight. And who knows? Maybe somebody had actually photoshopped it a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's not.
She did not
That's
look
not real.
great.
That's not real. She's actually in Hawaii right now. They just announced that they're engaged.
Oh, good for her. How old
Yeah.
is she? She's in her 40s, right?
No, not quite. I think
Okay.
she's 34, 35.
Oh, okay. So still
It
young.
is so funny because I've got a friend who works in radio now in Texas, and we're going to talk to each other this afternoon. But I was trying to figure out how long she'd been gone, and part of that was based on, I remember
She's 35.
she and my daughter both liking Taylor Swift at the same time, but that was like 2016. So yeah, she's what did you
Yeah,
say?
she hit the scene
35.
as a teenager. So she's done very, very, very well. And I think she's a billionaire. So Travis is doing well.
He's not doing so shabby himself. So
You what?
he's not doing so shabby himself.
I know, but yeah.
Compared to her, that would be
Most football players aren't billionaires.
no.
Yeah, but he made 36 million last year alone. So
I could live on that.
yeah, me too.
I could buy a house on that.
I think that's more than I need.
I always do in my mind kind of go back to, okay, so some of these people, I mean, who am I to tell them what to do with their money? But I look at how much they have, and they have such a great opportunity to do so many things. And yes, everybody wants to buy a home for their family and all those kinds of things. If you're a billionaire, by the time you get done with all of that, you still have plenty of room to do other things. But like I said, it's their money. Who am I to tell them what to do? Who am I to tell George Soros what he ought to do? Okay. Then we got I got a new clock. I'm ready to go. How about you, Barbara?
I'm ready.
All right. I'll count us down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, when people sell homes, they typically try to pick up and clean up so that it looks good when they're ready to sell. Some folks wonder if they need a complete remodel or not. How does someone prepare their home for sale, and what repairs are really needed?
Well, Richard, it depends on the house. I mean, some homes really don't need anything at all. But I think the biggest surprise to most people, at least when we help them get ready for photo day, is that clutter is not your friend. And what you think is not clutter actually is clutter in a photo. And most people don't live the same way that they present their home on the market. It's just hard. If you're living in a house and you're showing a home for sale, you need your coffee pot, you need your whatever you're using in your kitchen, you need some stuff out. But the stagers like pick up the throw rugs, put everything off the counters, put this away, put that away. And we've gotten some pushback here and there from sellers going, well, it doesn't look lived in. And I'm like, yeah, that's the idea. You want to make it look like almost like a model home, very austere, because that is your competition right now. You know, sales aren't rocking like they used to. They are for me, but I'm just saying, you know, if you look at the stats, we have 50% more available homes on the market than we had 2 years ago, but the number of monthly sales has not changed at all. So what does that tell you? There's more homes to compete with if you're a home saler. So the first thing you want to do is attack clutter. So how do you do it? Get your little smartphone, take a picture of the room, blow it up on your computer or your iPad and take a look at it and try to be really critical. In other words, things that look okay to the eye actually look very cluttered on a photo. So that's one way to get things done. You really want to minimize the amount of furniture that you have, because clutter and all those things actually weigh a house down. It could just be that might be the reason why the buyer decides not to go see your home versus other options. And a lot of people just get used to it. You know, my desk is messy at home. I'm gonna clean it, but you know, I get busy, I get involved with whatever I'm doing, things get pushed to the side and it starts piling up. So I think for most people, it's better to have an uncluttered space anyway, but it's also really, really critical when you put your house on the market. I mean, I'll sit in front of home sellers every single week and I'll show them a picture of a cluttered room. And I ask them, would you go see that house? And the answer is absolutely not. And that's the big change that's taken place from probably in the last 10 years as compared to before that, is the imagery, the pictures, the quality is so good that buyers are making their decision as to whether or not they're going to go see your home based on the online presentation. So you have to get that right. And that's one of the things that we focus a lot of our marketing dollars on. And so, you know, it's very easy. You just get lost in it. You kind of forget, oh, I have that. Like we did a rehab on the main level last year, and we were ordered to move out of the main level, move into the basement. And of course, it's a big rush, you know, no advance notice. So we're like, oh, pack everything. And we just threw stuff in boxes, shoved it downstairs. And what's interesting is most of that stuff has not come back upstairs, and it's been done for almost a year now. So what happened? It's out of sight, out of mind. So then the question is, do I really need it? Do I need that stuff? And it's so easy to accumulate stuff over time. So this is your chance, if you're going to put your home on the market, to start getting ready to move and really make those tough decisions. Do I really need that stuff at my next destination? And buyers absolutely will reject a home based on clutter that they see in the photos. Now, why do you think builders put up model homes? They're very expensive. They're building a house that's going to sit there for a year or two. They're going to hire an interior designer. They're going to buy furniture, put it in, make it look pretty, right? So the buyers can come in and sit down in the furniture and visualize themselves there. The reason they do that is if you as a buyer, and I've done this before with buyers, when you go into empty homes that might be finished, it doesn't have that same charm, that curb appeal, that love. And it is an emotional decision, right? It's not a data decision for most people. They have to fall in love with the house, fall in love with the floor plan, visualize themselves living there. And they can't necessarily do it with an empty home. Now, typically models are well furnished. The colors are neutral. They don't have any clutter. They are fresh and new. They smell good. They look good. And the idea is to get the buyer to say, I want one of these. How do I get one? Now, are they buying the model? Most of the time, no, they're buying some other empty house, but that gets them in the door, gets them believing in it enough to write a contract. So how do you deal with clutter? Number one, first of all, take it one room at a time. It can be very, very overwhelming. I tend to do this. It's like, you know, my squirrel brain goes, oh, I'm going to go over here and do this. Oh, I'm going to go over here and do this. And I never really finish anything doing it that way. The best way to do it is go, I'm focusing on the master closet. Boom. What are we going to do there? Well, master closet, we're not going to take pictures of it because they don't photograph well unless they're empty. However, there are ways that you can make the master closet look a lot bigger, like get everything off the floor, no piles of shoes laying around, no suitcases laying around. Pack away the clothes that you're not going to be wearing. You don't necessarily need the, woolly mammoth coats right now, and focus on those rooms. So the key rooms that buyers look at, and you really have 1 minute to make an impression online. That is it. And these are the key rooms that you got to focus on. Number one, curb appeal. Get that right. That means freshen up mulch beds, nice flowers, give the grass a haircut, just take care of anything that you can. Things like trampolines really just don't look that good, right? That kind of stuff. So the backyard, the view is very important for people. The living room is important. The kitchen is massive. So make sure there's no deferred maintenance in the kitchen. Pick up the rugs. Please take down the dish towel hanging on the stove. If you forget, we can digitally remove it, but that's just one of my little silly pet peeves. Master bathroom is the other critical room. All the throw rugs off, everything off the counter, towels neatly folded 3 ways. You don't really need any soap or tchotchkes or makeup or jewelry. Just put all that away and make it look like a brand new bathroom. Same with master bedroom. In that case, declutter it and make sure you have neutral bedding. Like you don't need drama mama, bright color mattress covers and that kind of thing. The places we don't photograph are the garages, unless they're spotless.
Asking to talk to you.
Do you want me to stop? What happy? Did you want me to stop? Can you hear me?
No, you know what? We have a little bit of an issue here. Somebody came in and just grabbed David real quickly. So yes.
So keep going.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'd say go ahead. I'm sorry. Because we can just keep recording. He'll edit it when we come back. Yeah.
All right.
Going.
Roll the tape. Here we go. We don't normally photograph unfinished basements. The garages we might photograph if they're empty and they look good. Buyers definitely will look into closets, but they don't, like I said, they don't photograph very well. The other thing you want to make sure is consider maybe renting a storage space of stuff that you know for sure you're going to take with you to your next house. We actually supply an interior designer to give you that checklist room by room by room to get you ready for photo day, but it also gets you ready to move. It gets you started on that path. We'll also give you tips on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. And that's part of our services. Some people think, well, do I need to replace the, I don't know, maybe it's a water heater that is at the end of its life. Well, maybe not. I mean, just last week, I had an inspector say, well, the water heater's 13 years old, therefore it needs to be replaced because it's 13 years old. No, it's still working. You don't have to replace it. But to smooth things over, we can offer the buyer a home warranty in case it fails a year after closing. They're covered on that. We also supply moving vans to help people declutter. And you know, it's a little bit tough to get rid of used furniture. It's not that easy. People tend to put too much furniture in their space, or they have too many knickknacks, too much stuff. So you want to pack as much of that away as you can. And it's hard to get rid of used furniture. Typically the charity places, some of them will come pick it up, which is great. One of my clients just worked with Goodwill, and they had a company associated with Goodwill to actually help them declutter. So there are services out there that can help you, and we can do it as well. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. And we're talking about how to prepare your house for sale and what repairs are really needed, what are not needed. And when we come back, we're going to be hitting on a few things of repaired items that will not only help your buyers fall in love, but help make the sales process go more smoothly so you don't have to worry about it. If you were thinking of making a move, give us a call, 301-3900. We have over 1,000 buyers in waiting that we could target for any home. We have cash offers, multiple cash offers, and we guarantee 100% of market value, or I'll pay you the difference. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're interested in selling your home, you want to give Barb a call. The number is 719-301-3900. And we're talking, Barb, about the best ways to get a house ready for sale and what repairs might be needed to sell a house for the most money. What are some other items that sellers ought to be focusing on?
Well, let's deal with deferred maintenance. So some people think, okay, if I replace the tired carpet, should I raise the price? No, the buyers are expecting move-in ready. So you have to deal with things that have been worn and beat up. Curb appeal, worn carpet, mismatched kitchen appliances, bright color paint schemes sometimes date a home. I had one person that sold a home with cabinets that were painted sparkle black. That was a problem. There was a price for that. So had he painted the cabinets again, they might have gotten more money for it, but that wasn't his selling strategy. So I had one seller that we were selling, myself and my brother works with me at my company. We both had similar listings in a similar area, similar price at the same time. Mine sold right away with a bidding more. His sat on the market week after week. And he goes, what am I doing wrong? And I looked at the pictures. There was one accent wall that was kind of pink, mauve. The other one was turquoise. I said, just neutralize those two accent walls. Cost them $1,000. It sold immediately after they did that. It's just really simple things. And, you know, not everybody likes to deal with fixing up a home for sale, and that's okay. We can sell it as is. I've been able to do that. Plus, there are investors that will come in and buy your home, take it as is, even, you know, tell you to leave whatever you don't want. We recently had one that we sold in Briargate that their strategy was to sell as is. The carpet was beige with blackened spots. It wasn't very pretty. We attracted a lot of buyers with our marketing, but when they got there, the buyers realized, okay, it needs work. But it was priced below market. We ended up getting 4 offers on that home. The highest offer was $40,000 above asking price, but we anticipated they would want more repairs. So they took the second highest offer, which was still $20,000 over asking price. So, you know, it's all about pricing. It's all about marketing, and it's all about getting the right team to help you handle the sale. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call. We offer multiple cash offers on your home, guaranteed for 100% of market value, or we'll pay you the difference. Call Barb at 719-301-3900. That's me. Or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing what should a realtor do to sell your home. Stay tuned for that.
I'm going to open this window, this door. It's hot in here.
We've got a monitor in here for news. That story that we had here with, you know, return to life or whatever the hell that thing was, where they had all the bodies out there. You've seen that we have something like that, return to nature, something like that going on down in Pueblo.
It's another one, right? There was one in the city.
Except
throwing the bodies.
One of the guys, they're brothers. One of them is the coroner down there, and they were just showing a live shot where they're searching the guy's home. And I'm like, okay, you're probably looking for records and stuff like that. Please do not tell me that you're going to find like a body in the basement.
Take work home with you.
Yeah, don't take work home with you. That's pretty good, actually.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Can you imagine?
Oh, geez.
You know, I never had the courage to look in the coffin when my folks passed, but you wonder, you know.
You know what? I guess up until recently, I didn't give it a lot of thought, but you should wonder. I mean, much easier to, you know, not do anything. You save a bunch of time, effort, energy, and money, and who's ever going to know, right?
And if they're cremated, they can hand you cement, and I guess it's supposed to look just like ashes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did not know
So it's
that.
very sad.
Wow.
Well, I learned something today, not necessarily something I particularly
I-
Not a
want
pleasant topic.
today, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on a brighter note, segment 3. Are you ready to go here, Barb?
I'm ready.
Count us down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, we've seen you on the show now for 4 years, and often I'm hear you speak about the difference. Now, Barb, I've been on the show with you for about 4 years, and often I hear you speak about the different experience levels of real estate agents. So, what should a realtor be doing to sell a house here in Colorado?
Well, Richard, I hate to say this, but in this industry, it's only 1 month of school to get your license. There is no training. There is no standardization. There is no job description. And the facts, the actual facts of sales results kind of bear that out. It's 1 month of school. You go hang your license with a broker, and the broker goes, go sell, figure it out, bring me some of that commission. I'll get 30, whatever percent of it. Unfortunately, 71% of the licensed agents failed to sell a home in 2024. 71%. And I was recently talking to my colleague about it. I said, hey, when you first started, did you get any training on how to do this? She goes, no. So she just figured it out. So, and then to top it all off, the Realtor Association rules make real estate agents a commodity. So, our job is to help our clients buy and sell homes, right? But the rules with the association want them all the listings online not to be special. They want them to be generic. We're not allowed to post anything that would make the home really desirable. Like a good example would be if a home seller was willing to allow a buyer to assume their low interest VA loan. I know we've talked about it before, Richard, but you don't have to be a veteran to assume a VA loan. So imagine walking into a home, instead of paying 6.5% interest on a mortgage, you could pay 2.5% by just putting the difference down and have no closing cost. Would that make you happy?
It would, absolutely. And I wish that I were a veteran, but I'm not. And I did not know that you do not absolutely have to be a veteran to take advantage of some of these things.
Yeah, it saves those buyers anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 in interest over the life of the loan. So the smart ones have figured it out really fast. But the associations are like, well, you can't do that. You can't put any financial stuff on there. And I'm like, but it makes this home highly desirable because they can really get it for a lower price and a lower payment if they pay full price as compared to buying some other house that didn't have that available. So it's just astounding to me. So some of the things that we can't market, that we give first responders and military special rates on our services. We can't even put in the multiple listing service that the seller is offering a warranty program that warrants the systems for a year after they close on the home. Not allowed. They're going to rip that out. And it's insane. I had one recently where the home is owned by the VA, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. It has problems. It was priced well below market because when they built it, they did something wrong, and it's causing a little bit of cosmetic cracks and stuff. The slab is moving a little bit. So they priced it really, really low. But if my job is to market and sell, I can't go out to the public and go, this house is a wreck, don't come see it, right? I can't do that. And so, but I did put information about the condition of the home in the multiple listing service under the private agent remarks, as well as it comes on their phone when they schedule a showing. The problem is I can't get the real estate agents that went to 1 month of school to read the instructions. right? Or to read the MLS. I don't even think they look at the MLS anymore. So they'd get to the house, they'd realize it has some issues. It can't go for traditional financing. Then they get mad at me. They're talking smack about me. Their buyers calling me and complaining that I'm wasting their time and I've never met them before. I'm like, how could I waste your time? I don't even know you. Well, we drove all the way out here to see this home. This priced $120,000 below current market value, and it has problems. I'm like, yeah, it does. And I put that in the agent remarks. Didn't your agent give you that information? Oh, sorry, your agent didn't read the information. So I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this anymore. So I thought, I asked my colleague, he suggested, just go ahead and put it in the description about the condition of the home. So I did. I put it on my 2 different listing services that I use. So the local National Association Multiple Listing Service, I put in there that the home has structural settling. It does have a structural warranty because it's only a 3.5-year-old home. We don't know if the warranty is going to fix it, but the VA, who is the owner, is offering it as is. And guess what the MLS said to me? They said, you can't say that. You got to take those words out. But at least I have my alternative MLS. And so it went out to the public, and the public finally could see it. And it ended up being a happy story because now all of a sudden the buyers are calling me and asking me questions, and I can help them probably more than some random agent that doesn't even read a few sentences in the MLS. So it's insane the way they've set it up. They're trying to make every agent a commodity, meaning we're all generic, we're all the same, there's all nothing special, and we're all going to take your listing and put it on my website so my buyers can see it, and my buyers ask me to show your listing. So and even recently the commission negotiation is getting to be really, really fun. I had a property that had a bidding war out in Black Forest, and the seller was willing to pay some commission to the buyer's agent, but not the full amount that she wanted. So we sent her a counter proposal, and she came back. She goes, well, why don't you put in the counter that my buyer pay me the difference? And I said, I'm not doing that. I don't work for you, and I don't know what your agreement is with your buyer. And I'm certainly not going to have the seller direct the buyer to pay you your fee. That is not his agreement. I'm working for the seller. What's between you and the buyer is on you. That's not me. So they're getting pretty bold. And I think the problem is because they made everybody so sameness, right? The agents really don't know how to differentiate themselves to make themselves not a commodity. Another example, the clear cooperation policy. So that came about, they started it in 2019, where they said, you real estate agent, if you're a member and you have a seller sign an agreement with you, within 24 hours of the agreement being signed, you cannot advertise that home anywhere unless it's in our MLS system. That way we can get some commission. Our agent association can get some commission off that listing first. In other words, no private listings, no off-market listings. And if you don't behave, then they're going to fine you $500. So I had somebody try to slap a fine on me. Usually, most of the time, it's some other agent complaining, going, she didn't follow the rules and I'm turning her in. And so what happened was I had this listing, very pretty remodeled home, but it was empty. One of their dumb rules is if you have an empty home and you virtually stage it to make it look like it's furnished, you have to also add the pictures of the empty room, which I don't like doing that because it's telegraphing to the world that it's empty. And I've had my listings broken into using their version of the marketing, and I'm not going to do that anymore. So I just didn't put it in their MLS system. And right away, boom, $500 fine for not behaving. And I called him and said, what are you doing? Why are you fining me? Well, it's not in our MLS. I said, it's not in your MLS, but it is in an MLS. And on the fly, they made up the rule. You have to have it in our MLS. I'm like, where does it say that? It just says in the MLS. It's just not in yours. So a lot of people are rule followers. I try to behave, but at the end of the day, my goal is to help the clients get what they most want, which is to sell their home for the most money. And you can't do that being lost in the sea of houses out there. And that's the reason why 71% of real estate agents sold zero homes in 2024. There are 6,300 agents in the Pikes Peak region, but 1,500-ish sales every month. So that means most of them are not getting a paycheck, right? Most of them are not selling. And then got one more thing that I like to whine about, which is agent abdication of the few little services that there are supposed to supply for their commission. So what they do is they hire these unlicensed transaction coordinators. Once they get a contract, woohoo, they're 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10 that are getting a contract. And then they just abdicate the whole job to somebody that's unlicensed, unqualified to track their critical deadlines in the contract to sales process. And then they try to make me, their admin assistant. And it makes me nuts, and I won't cooperate with them. I said, no, I'm not doing that. So all the tracking and due diligence falls on the listing agent's shoulders, because the buyer's agents, they drug in a buyer, they filled out a 10-minute contract. They don't want to go to the inspection. They don't want to track their deadlines. They just want to show up at closing and get their check and be done with it. I actually had, just last week, an agent text me and go, can you just show my buyer your listing? And I'm like, you don't have a team, somebody that could show? Oh, no, I've got something else going on, so I can't do it. I said, sure, refer me your buyer and we'll take good care of him, meaning I get paid some of the commission for doing your job. And he's like, oh, no, I get other agents to do it for $50. I said, that doesn't even cover my gas, dude. I'm not doing it. So, and I think I know what he was going to do. If I gave him access, he would give out the combination to the buyer and let them go in there on the zone. So I was like, no, I don't trust you. It's not going to happen. So for sure, you need certainty of the sale. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. And we're going to talk a little bit about what I think agents should be doing to help home sellers sell their home. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900. We can typically match over 1,000 buyers for any home. Give us a call or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can reach her and her team at 719-301-3900. And we're talking about what a realtor should do to sell your house here in Colorado. Barb, you know that I've recommended you for, wait. Let me check my clock here. I got the wrong spot here.
I can bang through this second half in about a minute.
Okay. Then I'll just go ahead. 3, 2, 1. So, Barbara, how do you approach the task of selling a house here in Colorado?
Well, I believe my job is to create demand if I'm representing a seller. What most agents do is what I call post and hope. They get pictures done, hopefully they're professional photos. They post it in the MLS and hope some other agent, the 1 out of 10 agent that might be selling a home, brings them a buyer. The problem is that whole theory has a massive failure rate. And, most agents' only solution is to just ask them to lower the price. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things in the sales process that need attention and expertise. There's repairs that have to be managed. We have to get good bids on repairs. There's negotiations that have to take place. There's just getting a buyer to the finish line. You wouldn't believe how many times I see second showings and then they vanish and they go away. It's like, well, what happened? If they spent the time to go back and look at a home a second time in this market, they're interested. What happened to their closing skills? Why don't they use something to motivate the buyer to open negotiations? So we're having to do all that for them. And we do that with enhanced ads, offers in our ads, helping people prepare their home for sale, helping people prepare to show the home, and helping people close on the home. If you want our services, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to tell if your house will sell, plus guaranteed cash offers on your home and Barb's hot new listing. Stay tuned for all of that. And we'll order a couple of pizzas while you're there waiting. All right.
Oh boy. Sorry, was I a little bit too rough on him?
No. You know what?
I'm fine just as long as they don't invite an inspector with my 18-year-old daughter in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh God,
I mean, you
That
know,
one just gives me chills.
me too.
The thing that I like is that, you know, I'm sorry, but these people want you to work for free. And it's not like a big theme, but over the course of you doing the show and you talking about these things, I think it does send a message, especially to younger people. Don't let people take advantage of you. If you say yes, they will, and they'll make money while you're not, and you're doing their job. So
Yeah, they're lazy. So it's funny.
all right. I got a new clock. You know, let me run the men's room real quick here. Ugh.
I'm gonna stretch my legs.
All right. Almost.
Might even get a lunch today.
I'm almost done. My wife's got a problem here. She thought that it was going to be better going to um, Okay, let's wrap this thing up here. I've got a clock. And oh my gosh, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. I'll
Good.
count this down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program. I'm Richard Randall, sitting in. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, with the real estate market cooling off, many home sellers don't want to wait months to sell their homes or worry about their contracts failing for various reasons. So, how does someone go about getting a cash offer on their home?
Well, Richard, we show up with at least a half dozen offers on anybody's home if they invite us into their home to discuss the sale. Right now, more than half of the home sellers are having to reduce their prices. The rates have gone down about 0.5% in the past couple of weeks, which is good, but there's still probably a third of the first-time home buyers that really can't afford these payments. Our prices haven't corrected that much. And there's nationwide a huge cancellation rate. When I looked at interest rates this morning, they were sitting at about 6.5, excuse me, 6.5% conventional and like 6.1 for the government loans, FHA and VA. So here's what you can do with that. I think if the rates drop down even another 0.5%, they start having a 5 in front of them, we're going to have all these buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines come out and force. That's kind of why the builders are doing so well. They are offering buy down on interest rates, pay your closing cost, give you fries with that too. And they're getting buyers to write contracts on their houses. The problem is, if a home seller has a house to sell, how are they going to make that transition to that new house, either locally or in another area, especially if their home is not selling? Sometimes the buyer's financing failed. I had one buyer recently where the agent didn't tell the whole truth about why this buyer bailed out before closing, but it turned out that he didn't get the raise he was expecting. And it really hurts the seller. If you think about it, we have to tell the world that the home is under contract. So all by itself, just doing that creates demand destruction for other buyers. If we're telling the world it's under contract, that repels buyers from coming to look at your home. Now, I don't market that way. I keep marketing until the end because you never know if somebody's going to bail out. And then you've got agents that don't have selling skills, talking buyers out of homes, like saying it's not worth that much, or saying something like, well, I don't know if it's worth that much, or that home won't qualify for the financing that you're asking for, without really asking the question to find out if we have solutions. They also don't have very good selling skills. Like, they've got a buyer that's coming back and asking questions over and over again. Well, come on, let's sit down, let's discuss it. Let's make something happen if they're that interested. And then when they do get a contract, there's still that uncertainty that the buyer could walk away. There's also, for the sellers, the uncertainty of very expensive repairs, especially if they haven't prepared for it. Like, I took over a listing in the winter where they had it under contract, and the buyer walked away because the buyer was somehow told to expect that they should get a brand new deck worth $45,000. I don't know what made them think that, but it blew up the deal. They fired that agent. They hired me. And then we went on to sell it for full price, and we didn't really do anything with the deck at all. I had another home seller that really didn't plan ahead for septic. So this is one of those systems that if it fails for whatever reason, it could be very expensive to repair. That's what I always tell sellers, get ahead of that system, because in most of the counties along the Front Range, they're going to require the septic system be inspected prior to closing. And what if they need to do a major repair on the septic? Most people don't even pay attention to it if it doesn't back up, but it could fail without backing up. And that can be very expensive. I had one out in Peyton that failed. I suggested a vendor that I trusted. The first appointment didn't hook up. I guess he didn't think they did that work. So he went on to get a bid for $51,000 to replace the septic system. Now the sales price was only about 400. It's like, really? 51,000 for septic? I said, did you call this guy? Oh, I didn't think he did that. So he called him, and I ended up saving him about $13,000 on that work that had to be done. The problem is it takes a lot of time. When you're doing a septic system, if it does require a leach field change or something major like that, first they have to do a soils test. Then they have to get the soils test back. Then they have to design the system. Then they have to pull the permit. Those processes could take, in this county anyway, as much as 3 months. So always get ahead of that if you're thinking of making a move. And then there could be financing that fails. What about the appraisal? Okay. I just talked to an appraiser that told me that he does lots of appraisals and they have some coming in low. Now, they hate to be the bad guy, but they have to follow the rules. The values have to match similar sales. Otherwise, they can't substantiate the value. And some agents really don't know. They're just wishing that it will appraise, right? It takes some hard forensic research to make sure of that. So we help the appraisers as much as we can. We're not allowed to really influence them, but let's say the appraisal comes in low, especially if they're getting an FHA or a VA loan. There's a lot of criteria in which the house has to meet the loan guidelines, meaning there could be no peeling paint, even on the outbuildings like a shed or something, no missing outlet covers, no broken windows, no safety issues, trip hazards, no uncovered window wells where kids and dogs could fall in. No, I've had them ask for fencing falling down. I've had them ask for a lot of interesting things. It doesn't say in the contract who does that repair. It just says the buyer has to report it. But the assumption is the seller does the repair. So I always tell sellers, get ahead of those just in case you're going to get a buyer that's getting an FHA or a VA loan. Because if you don't and it happens, then you have to scramble towards the end of the process to get that repair done for the buyer to get their loan. So you want to be prepared for success by far. But those are just another one of those things that can cause uncertainty in the process. So we can provide uncertainty. I just sold a home last week that sold for cash, full price, no repairs, and they were able to move to their next home and it closed on time. That's critical for some home sellers. If you have to sell a home in order to buy your next home, the biggest dilemma for most sellers is, if I need my equity out of this home to buy my next home, how am I going to do that? Right? Sometimes they don't qualify for payments on both houses. We actually have lender partners that can help you do that. They will actually go and pay cash for your next home. That way you can have your next home lined up, sell your existing home, then walk into the financing on the new home with them, which is really, really cool. Most home sellers won't accept a contingent offer, or they'll keep the door open for other buyers to walk in the door. Another problem is appraisals. Is if the house does not appraise, the deal could blow up late in the process after you've already broken down the house isn't show pretty anymore, and nobody wants the deal to fall apart later in the game. So we can help you do that. That's part of what we do for our home sellers. We have tons of solutions, lots of cash buyers. We have a couple of different a couple of different investors that can actually come in and make that transition happen from one house to the next without having to qualify for both homes. And all you need is a little bit of equity. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. Richard?
to your real estate voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can reach her at 719-301-3900. And we're talking, Barb, about what makes a cash offer better on a house for some sellers.
Well, a lot of people assume that cash offers are lowball offers, but not always true. Most of the offers that I present are full market value. It could be a multi-step process, but they're going to end up with full market value with their home. And the benefits are you have that certainty that you know you're going to get to the finish line. I just helped a couple recently that were able to sell their home as is, move when they wanted, and they were just happy as clams. And we can also guarantee the sale. We offer that we're going to guarantee to bring you at least a half dozen cash offers on your home, or we'll pay you 100% of market value. No, let me say that again. We guarantee your home will sell for 100% of market value, or we'll pay you the difference. So if you want to find out more about that, that way you get the highest price and a guaranteed offer, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Team are the only company that I'd recommend to people out there who are thinking of selling their homes to reach Barb. Give her a call, 719-301-3900. Barb, favorite time of the show? It's time for your hot new listings. What do you have this week?
I have a beautiful home in Briargate on Camfield Circle, priced at $439,999. Gorgeous 3-bedroom, gleaming hardwood floors, granite counters, backs to open space, in great condition. A really great investment property up in Cripple Creek on Carr Avenue at 292. A fabulous home on almost an acre in Woodland Park on Highway 24, priced at $299. A great home that's owned by the VA would be a fabulous investment property. Actually has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a 2-car, 342.5. Fabulous home down in Pueblo on 13th Avenue. This home has a pool. We don't have too many homes with a pool, and a mother-in-law suite priced at $369 with quartz counters. Is just gorgeous. 2 homes in Rush. One of them is on 375 North Rush Road, over 2 acres, priced at $374,999. Lots of outbuilding and extra garage space. Also 355 Rush Road. That one's on 9 acres, backs to open space. Big, beautiful home. Lots of outbuildings and extra garages at $464,999. We also have a fabulous home in Old Colorado City, 610 North Tower Road, priced at $499. This home, actually, the basement was rented out Airbnb, and they were able to command $15,000 a year renting just the basement out. Really, really nice property. Beautiful home down on Royal Troon Road in Pueblo, priced at $565. Gorgeous ranch with a finished basement in superb condition. An amazing patio home in Pine Creek on Spanish Oak Terrace, priced in the low 70s at backs to the golf course. Beautiful 4-bedroom home. Another one in Briargate at $454,900. Amazing home on Big Valley Drive over in Rock Rimmon, priced at $699. Has a detached 3rd-car garage, ultimate man cave. Amazing home on Broadmoor Bluffs Drive at $684,999. Backs to NORAD. A spectacular custom Adobe style home on Wild Road on 123 Wild Rose Drive in Canyon City, priced at $1.25 million with RV parking. Really, really beautiful custom home that you have to take a look at. And another amazing custom home, 16145 Open Sky Way on 4 acres in Gated High Forest Ranch, priced at $1,295,000, over 7,000 square feet of beauty. Another great home on Hidden Valley, great lot on Hidden Valley Drive. Plus, I have more hitting on the market this weekend. One of them on Mead and one of them on Capitol Peak Way, a big rancher priced at $574,999. Coming on the market this week. So to find out about all of our properties, go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Remember, you can see replays of the show on YouTube on Barb's channel or listen to the podcast on all of the popular podcast platforms, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, many, many others. Thank you for listening. And again, to reach out to Barb, 719-301-3900. Thank you for listening. Barb, have a great week. We'll talk to you next weekend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.